Welcome to my channel and my first ever BookTube video where we are going to be going over my TBR for the month of April. Alright, let's set this massive stack down here beside me. My name is Hannah, by the way. Thank you so very much for clicking on this video. I really appreciate it. And I'm so excited to get started. I'm a huge reader and I just want to share it with the world, share my thoughts, share my feelings. I love the book community, and so yeah, here we are. So April, I do like setting out a TBR. This is kind of more like hopefuls, but I have been pretty good with sticking with my monthly TBR recently, so we'll see how this goes. But there are some that I have here that I do really want to get to. I think I just had some books on my pile that shouldn't have been there, so my bad. But okay, we're going to start with a couple newer releases from the past month or two that I am just itching to get at. The first book on my TBR is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I'm sure we have all heard about this book. Actually, probably a few of these by now. This came out, I think, February 4th. And this is my edition of it. This is the Probably Smut edition. It is actually so nice. The back, like, that's just awesome. If you didn't know, this is what Ali was going to name the book first, just Wet, which I'm kind of glad she didn't do that. But yeah, I really love this edition. There's even a little note from her in there. The bottom is a little scuffed, but it is what it is. But yeah, I love Ali Hazelwood. I am not actually like the biggest romance girly. I do like romance, but it's not like my number one genre. But when it comes to Ali Hazelwood, Emily Henry, particularly those two, but I'm sure there will be others. I haven't gotten into Abby Jimenez yet, and I have a feeling I'm going to really love her and her writing as well. But I love Ali. I've read all of her other books. Actually, I'm in the middle of Love on the Brain right now, but for the most part, obsessed with her books. I've heard some mixed, actually a lot of mixed things about this one, so I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. They're like swimmers. It's supposed to be, or like it was supposed to be really spicy and like really kinky, explore kinks, but some people were disappointed in that. I don't really know. I'm just gonna go into it open-minded and yeah, just hope for some laughs, some banter. And yeah, just see what happens with this one. So that is number one. The second one I have will probably be the one that I start with in April. This is the other new release, and then the other ones are a little bit different, I promise. But that is Sunrise on the Reaping, which is probably another obvious one for this month because it came out not even 2 weeks ago at this point. So this is the prequel, the second prequel now to the Hunger Games universe. We got Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Oh my god, how many years ago now? I don't even know. But this is from the point of view of Haymitch. If you don't know who Haymitch is, you have to read the Hunger Games. I would definitely not recommend reading either of the prequels without reading the Hunger Games trilogy. If you haven't read the Hunger Games trilogy, what are you doing? But yeah, this takes place during the 50th games? Hunger Games? 50, yes, yeah, 50th, like the second quarter quell. And everyone that I've been seeing reading this says that it's really sad and it like breaks them apart. And I don't know if I'm ready for that, but I also am ready for that. And yeah, I think I just have a feeling I'm going to fly through this, and oh, I cannot wait. Also, this is an Indigo exclusive. I'm in Canada. It looks the same as every other edition that I've seen of this. Is there a Q&A with Suzanne Collins? Is that the special edition part? I don't know. But this is the cover of this. Very pretty. It's not too long. It's like actually, it's almost 400 pages. But yeah, second book on the TBR. Third book is actually a reread. When I got back into reading as an adult, like majorly back into reading, was early 2022, and I read like a number of books at that time that are all still some of my all-time favorite books, and this was one of them. It was a new release at the time, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, because I had read his other two books, The Martian and Artemis, and absolutely loved them. Like, he is one of my favorite authors of all time at this point, and he really needs to come out with a new book, some new books. His books are super, like, in-depth and definitely take a lot of, like, research and stuff. Oh my god. I read this on my Kindle the first time. There's a freaking rocket diagram in here. What? I don't remember that. But yeah, I loved it so much, so I got the physical copy. So I really want to reread this again. I want to reread all of his books, but I think I want to start with this one because recently I've seen it blowing up more in the book community. Like, more people are discovering this book and Andy Weir, so I think this might be my first reread of his. This is a sci-fi book about an astronaut who wakes up in space. He's alone. He doesn't remember why he's there, what is going on, and throughout the book you see him slowly, like, kind of goes back to before he got into this situation, what is happening on Earth, why he is in space alone, what is going down with Earth, and it takes this whole other turn. I like can't say anymore without the major spoiler of this book, but there's I can't even say it. But this book is just so heartwarming, so intelligent. Like, there's so much that goes on in this. It's just everything. I love this author. I can't wait to reread it because it has been 3 years now since I read it, and I want to experience it again. All right, so my next couple books, I actually have an ASMR channel that I do, like, half classic ASMR, half kind of BookTube, but I really wanted to just have a classic BookTube channel because I know not everyone loves ASMR and books are like my life. So I actually did a March TBR video on my ASMR channel, and in that I used these reading prompt cards that I got in an Illumicrate book subscription box, and they're really, really fun. So I used these, yeah, to pick my March TBR, and I didn't end up getting to every single book. I ended up picking 5 prompts and ended up with 7 books in my TBR. Don't ask how that happened, but I was left with 2 books that I wasn't able to get to. So I do really want to read them though, because 2 of the books I picked for March ended up being 5-star reads. So prompts are so much fun, and I plan on doing them maybe like every 2 to 3 months, just because I am a little bit of a mood reader too, and also just want to read what I want to read, you know? So the 2 books that are now being pushed to April are, first we have the first book in the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. So the first one is City of Bones, and you don't understand. I have had this book for 15-ish years. Like, it's insane how long I've had this book. Someone gifted me this. I have the first 4 books in this series. I think I was just too young when I got this and tried reading it, because I read the first, I don't even know how long, but ended up DNFing it because I just think I was too young. I wasn't ready for, like, a fantasy like this. It's an urban fantasy. I think it's a YA urban fantasy. I don't know a ton about what they're about, but this was like peak, you know, I don't know, because this came out in like 2007. I feel like that was such peak time for YA fantasy, and I can't wait to dive into that time and those books. There's so many other books around that period and like 2012-ish that I want to get into. So I am so excited to finally come back to this, and because I feel like now I can really appreciate and understand this series and Cassandra Clare. If you're wondering what the prompt was for this book, it was an urban fantasy book. So I had to go with this. And also in March, I started like 3 different series, and I have anxiety, so I kind of didn't start this in March on purpose because I would like to finish another series before I start this one. You know, I don't like having too many series going at once. And then the second book that I wasn't able to get to in March from my prompt video is called When Haru Was Here by Dustin Bao. Look at how beautiful this cover is. It's gorgeous. This is also an Indigo exclusive. Once again, I don't know what's exclusive about it. Half of Indigo's exclusive books, don't know what's different about them. Sometimes the colorway of the covers are different, but this one, no clue. So I have another one of his books, You've Reached Sam, which I haven't read yet, and this is his newest release. I would have normally read his first or his other book before this one, but the prompt I feel like that I got for this one made more sense. And that prompt was a book with a queer character. So that is why I picked this one, and it's really not short. I had planned on just like reading this during a weekend, but it just never happened, unfortunately, because it's less than 300 pages. And for a girl who reads mostly fantasy, I'm sure fantasy readers can understand this, but any book under like 350 pages is short. You know what? I might actually read a little bit about what this one is about. It's like magical realism. So it says, after the death of his best friend, Eric Lee, I think, or Lee, creates imaginary scenarios in his head to deal with his grief, until one of them becomes real when a boy he met in Japan last summer finds his way back into his life. When he least expects it, Haru walks into the coffee shop and sits down next to him. The only thing is, nobody can see him but Eric. In a magical turn of events, Eric suddenly has someone to connect with, making him feel less alone in the world. But as he and Haru spend more and more time with each other, he begins to question what is real. When he starts losing control of the very thing that is holding him together, Eric must finally confront his reality, even if it means losing Haru forever. So, I have a feeling I'm going to cry during this book, during this read. You know what's funny is I used to avoid like sad books or books that I knew were going to make me emotional. I used to avoid them like the plague. Like, I am very emotional. I cry a lot. I'm a Cancer. But I do not like sad things or things that I know are going to make me cry, even like movies and stuff. So I always avoided them. But I don't know what has changed in the last like few months, but I'm actually okay with that now and kind of more excited now if a book is emotional or I know it's going to be emotional. It's like I know it's going to make me feel something and be like more impactful. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I am very much looking forward to this and getting into Dustin Bao because this will be the first book of his that I have read. Okay, next on my TBR is a romance. I guess I was going to say the first one. No, second romance on my April TBR. And that is Reckless by Elsie Silva right here. This is the fourth book in the Interconnected Standalone series by Elsie Silva, the Chestnut Springs series. This series is freaking everywhere. Elsie Silva is everywhere. She is beloved. She's Canadian, which is really cool. Love that. So they're small town cowboy romances. Not all of them are romances. Like the third book, Powerless, had literally nothing to do with cowboys. The MMC was a hockey player and the FMC was an ice skater. So, but I guess for the most part, it's still like kind of small town vibes. But like I said, I'm not the biggest romance girly ever. So I do like these books. I just don't fully understand all of the hype and all of the obsession around them. Like, they're good, but they're like nothing crazy. Like, they're like the writing isn't amazing. The stories aren't deep. You know, that's why I like Emily Henry, for example, because like her writing and her banter in the books are so funny. Like, I'm laughing out loud, but at the same time, her writing is beautiful and her books go deeper. Like, there's a lot more to them than just like a fluffy romance. And that's okay to have a fluffy romance. Like, these are definitely surface level fluffy romances. Those just aren't my favorite, but they are good palate cleansers. They are just a fun, good time. So yeah. And this one, for some reason, I don't know if it's because the universe knows that this is next in the series for me, but I've been seeing so many people talking about Reckless recently, and I read the last one like months ago now. It's been a little bit. And this seems to be, like, this one and Heartless seem to be people's favorites. I know that this has the pregnancy trope in it, and it follows, I think, the last brother, because there are 3 brothers. Oh, no, this one's Theo. That's their... Right. Okay, yeah. He's a bull rider. And the FMC from the first book, Flawless, her sister. Yeah. I am excited to read a pregnancy trope because I never have before, and I want to see if, like, I'm into that, because I don't really know. So there is that one. That is the 6th book we're adding, and we have one more book to add to my TBR, which is a honker. I started reading the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas in December of last year, and I've been going along steady, like a couple books a month. Actually, a little bit less the last couple months. But I am finally ready to start the final book in the series, Kingdom of Ash, which is the biggest book. It is so freaking chonky. Is this book or the third Crescent City book bigger? I'm not sure, because right now the third Crescent City book is the biggest book I've ever read. If this one is longer, then this is going to take its place, because look at that. It's a brick, but I'm honestly not really intimidated to start it. I'll probably read a lot of it on my Kobo, because that thing is my life. I can't believe how large this is. I'm sorry. It's just insane. But yeah, this is the last book in the Throne of Glass series. There are 8 books total in it. And yeah, it's time for the ending. A lot of the books have made me emotional. I've been really, really enjoying this series, loving my time with the characters, with the world building. I understand the hype around this series. I'm definitely going to miss it when I am done this, but I am also excited to wrap it up. I've somehow avoided all spoilers for this series, so I have no idea where this book is going to go, how it's going to end, nothing. So I'm going to feel really relieved once this is complete, and I don't have to worry about spoilers anymore. You know, I can look up fan art, character art, because I haven't, without being spoiled about anything. So I'm expecting a lot to go down in this. But no, I'm mostly excited to get through it. I'll probably be sad once it's over, but also a little bit relieved, and I can move on. Probably once I'm done this, I'll start City of Bones. Is that it? Yes, it is. City of Bones. Because especially with fantasy, I don't like reading multiple fantasy series at once. Like, that's just too much for my brain. I can be in the middle of like a romance series and a fantasy series. That's fine. But multiple fantasy series just ain't it. You know what I mean? All right. And that is it. This is my stack for April. I think I can do this, ? I actually am not 100% sure. Just because Kingdom of Ash, this is like 3 books in one. Like, are you kidding me? I think I'm going to start with Sunrise on the Reaping, and then probably jump into Kingdom of Ash. Then maybe Deep End. I'll probably listen to Project Hail Mary. I have a really long commute into work, which is prime audiobook time. I'm telling you, it is a lifesaver. Only thing good about my commute. What else do we have? When Haru was here, I probably will, like, one weekend that I'm not busy, just sit down and enjoy this. And then Reckless as well. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so I can kind of pick that up anytime, like on my phone. And there she is. What a beautiful stack of books. So that is the end of my first official real BookTube video. This is fun. I'm planning so many more videos on my channel. So if you enjoyed this, I would love for you to subscribe so you can see what else we get up to on the channel. I'm planning on, I don't know if I'll always do like monthly wrap-ups, but do more kind of vlog style, like picking a few books and then reading them. Maybe do some like come book shopping with me, book hauls, unhauls. Basically anything to do with books will be on this channel. So yeah, if you like books, stick around. But I appreciate you so much for getting this far in the video. If you did, seriously, thank you. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Go take care of yourself, and I'll see you later. Bye.